We have two celebrities in the house. We actually have a few of them, but these two guys, it's kind of an honor and a pleasure for me. Not kind of, it is an honor and a pleasure to have them in the studio. To your far left is Brad Copley, who is the president of the Cypress Gardens ski team. Also, can I?
I guess you can. I don't think I can stop you.
Okay. Yeah. We all skied together at Cypress Gardens years and years ago. Brad and I, actually all over the world, and had the opportunity to now work together on the World Championships, Water Ski Championships, Ski Show Championships coming up October 19th through the 23rd. And we have some exciting and actually breaking news coming to you this morning. Brad, assistant state attorney, and don't ever do anything bad in Polk County because you don't want him prosecuting you. And to his left, to your right, is Mr. Dave Dershimer, Man of the Year in the City of Winter Haven, former Cypress Gardens skier, insurance is it still nationwide?
Yes, sir.
Still
Absolutely.
nationwide in Winter Haven, former mayor of Winter Haven.
Thank you.
And so, when you think of water skiers, what do? Sit around and smoke cigarettes all day and drink beer. Well, they go on to bigger and better things throughout the course of their lifetime. When you have one of the top attorneys in the state of Florida, and you have insurance and mayor and everything else. That's what happens when you're a water skier. Of course, you end up like me too, just emptying trash and that type of thing. But for the most part, great to have you on board, guys. And this is an exciting time for the ski team. And Dersh, I'm going to start with you because you've been one of the go-to guys, one of the architects of where we are now with this World Championships coming up. Did you ever think that we'd be hosting the World Ski Show Championships?
No, it's been the furthest thing from my mind, although in 1957 I was 11 years old and Cypress Gardens hosted a 3-event World Championship, so I guess what goes around comes around. I was a visitor then, and now I'm one of the nuts and bolts of the event.
Well, I'm going to throw some funny ones out about these two guys. But many of you know, except for you millennials and Zers, know who Johnny Carson is. Okay, he's the modern day, or he was years ago, Jay Leno, and I don't know who the heck it is now, somebody. Anyway, Johnny Carson did a shot where there was two skiers laying on their back holding handles, and he stood on top of them, the human skis, and Dersh was one of those skiers. And I know Brad was around at the time too. Brad,
I was 25 at that time, yeah.
I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And it's hard to believe, okay, when you look over here and you see the professional in the white shirt and the tie and all this type of stuff. This guy's a superstar skier, and was the best Corky the Clown that Cypress Gardens has ever seen, and entertained millions throughout the world. And Brad, coming in, you're the new president of the Cypress Gardens ski team, separate and distinct from the professional group of years ago. What is that like for you? To go from a pro superstar, now you're the head of the organization. That's got to be an honor.
Well, it's an honor, and it's an interesting experience because, it's all volunteers. So there's a whole lot of different considerations at the time. We have families, of course, that are members and contribute greatly to the show. And so it's a lot different setup than what we had at Cypress Gardens for many years. And I guess I was at Cypress Gardens for about 18 years. And it's just very different. We get to interact with the crowd a little bit more. The kind of venue we have now, we have a great setup on Lake Silver there. And it's been an honor and kind of a challenge.
One of the questions that we have been posing, and then we produce them, Dersh was on it once. And one of the questions, there's two questions, 2 for 22. One is, what is the 100th anniversary of water skiing mean to you personally? And secondly, your most memorable moment in water skiing. For the second question, most memorable moment, what would that be?
Was that going? You're going to go first on that one, right?
No, I did. Mine's
he can't remember
recorded.
back that far.
Most memorable moment in water skiing? Gosh, I don't know. I think maybe some of the stunt boat driving we did in correlation with the Johnny Carson show and some other shows.
Okay.
We got to travel a good bit. You and I were in Jordan, right next to. In fact, we were in Jordan around the time there was some peace talks going between Jordan and Egypt at the time.
Yep.
And we got to ski with the king. So that was an interesting time. And some of the travel we've done, and I guess away from Cypress Gardens. I mean, we were in Scandinavia for a good while, a couple summers.
That was my favorite road show to date.
Yeah, that was. Gonna get into that.
There must be a backstory there.
Yeah, there is. But anyway, it is very different. It's a challenge, but yeah. As far as it's hard to pick out one particular moment among them all, quite frankly.
Yeah, I've said the same. There's thousands of memories and impressive moments and stuff. Dersh, how about you?
Well, when Buster McCalla monitored my tryout at Cypress Gardens, and he reported to the show director that there was a possibility that this 17-year-old kid from Milton, Pennsylvania, who hitchhiked to follow his application to Cypress Gardens could possibly become a skier, that was a magic moment. I skied around the show circle on shoe skis. I jumped from the wrong side of the jump. I wrapped up for a helicopter, turned upside down. You'd have thought I was doing a gainer, but I really didn't know how to do a helicopter. But anyway, I got a positive grade on my tryout at Cypress Gardens, and I'm still around.
That's amazing. Gerald?
Yeah, obviously talking about the world, so forth. Give us a little info about that. What the audience out there can expect, when, times, days.
Sure. Well, the actual world tournament consists of teams from 5 different countries. The 6th country will be Mexico, doing just an exhibition show on Friday afternoon. But Team USA will be there with some of the greatest skiers that have ever skied, and several of them actually live in Polk County and train in Polk County, but others come from Wisconsin and Michigan and around the country. Team from Canada, team from Belgium, Germany, Sweden, and who did I forget? I guess the Mexicans are going to do an exhibition show. In addition to the show ski teams, which will be spectacular because each team has their own music, their own costume, their own stories, their own style, and it's just amazing to watch people perform the similar acts in different fashion. This year, for the first time ever, the world competition will feature some individual competitions. So the one sport that'll be new this year in individual is Swivel Skiing, where the ballet girls perform ballerina acts on water on a ski where the ski goes forward, but the swivel binder allows them to do turns, not only 180s and 360s. Now they do 540s, 720s, 1080s, and whatever else, but it's all timed to music and kind of tells its own story. We have 10 or almost 20 swivel competitors. We also have individual competitors in adagio doubles, where guys like Mark Jackson, believe it or not, can actually pick a young lady up in the air while the male skis with a strap attached to the boat, and the young lady does acrobatic things overhead into the music and all that. So it'll be 3 days of exciting show ski competition, preceded on Thursday night, the 21st, by a community welcome party in downtown Winter Haven, where 3rd Street and Central Avenue will be blocked off. There'll be a stage and band and music from a variety of international treats, along with other beverages. And the idea of that party is to welcome the foreign skiers to Winter Haven, which, as Mark Jackson will probably tell you, is the water ski capital of the world. Now, backing up before Thursday night, the opening ceremonies of the World Water Ski Show Championships will be held in the original ski show circle of Cypress Gardens, which is now a Legoland property. And so we're expecting maybe a couple of thousand people to show up for the opening ceremonies, which will feature an international parade of flags and welcoming of all the foreign countries, and some speeches by some important dignitaries and maybe Mark, I don't know. and there'll be some good activity there. That evening will conclude with some fireworks. And before all of that, on Tuesday night the 18th, the Cypress Gardens water ski team is hosting a Night with the Stars of Show Skiing fundraising dinner at Noramea Hall. We have about 350 former water ski show professional performers coming from all over the country to spend hopefully a whole week in Polk County enjoying the tournament and the festivities. But this dinner should be fun. It'll be kind of mini reunions of people from Tommy Bartlett shows and from SeaWorld shows and San Diego shows and the shows that have been done in Germany and around the world. So it'll be a whole week of reuniting skiers from around the world.
You know, that's really going to be fun, and I know that when you and Ralph Samuelson were performing together back in the 20s, maybe we can resurrect some of those folks.
Okay.
Well, you know, one last question because we're almost out of time here, but Brad, you know, taking over as president of the club, there's so many people. This is the water ski capital of the world. People that want to get involved in the sport. You know, the philosophy now is more welcoming, more open. Hey, we're here to have fun, and we want families involved. How do people find out more about the Cypress Gardens ski team? Can you go to the website?
We have a website. David knows that address, right, David?
Yep, it's just cypressgardensskiteam.com.
So in that environment, I think, Brad, is so important, and you know, a disciple of Lynn Novakovsky and the culture and all of that at Cypress Gardens. It seems to me you're kind of carrying that, hey, that team together again.
And I like the fact that you talked about a welcoming atmosphere, because that is what we're striving to be. And you know, water skiers are sort of naturally that way. It's been my experience. I mean, almost, you know, very laid back. And if someone walks up and wants to know, we're always happy to talk with them about it. It's very easy to get started. It doesn't cost a lot of money, which is a really beautiful part of our setup. I mean, if you want to start off water skiing as a family, you better have some significant money to buy a boat and so forth. Yeah. Here, you join the team, and a very minimal cost, and we have events that cover a lot of our costs that David is responsible for, but it's inexpensive to get into, and it's a great family sport.
Well, I couldn't think of two better representatives. Maybe throw Mark Boissart in there as well. But
absolutely.
Between you three guys and the current board of directors, my personal and professional thanks and congratulations. You're heading in the right direction. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this interview and want to watch more Sports Central, click the video below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.